Right, welcome back. Last time, we started a war with France. Well, to be more precise, we started a war with Bentheim, who's allied to France and is protected by a variety of, well, countries, one of which is France. The thing is, I could theoretically finish up the war and grab everything that I want right now. But, well, I don't actually want all this stuff just yet. Because I've got one more goal that I have in mind with this war. I want to see how my armies face up against France. Because France is competent. They're pretty much the only military that has a decent chance of being competent compared to me. Well, Padua is also a good one for this to be the case. Which is something I need to look into. In fact, Padua would probably be even more competent than France. I mean, they do have quality, standing army, quantity. They don't have any of the more advanced military ideas, but that could change. That could change. Right, so. If I want to be able to go up against Spain and stand anything more than a decent chance, than a slight chance, I need to be absolutely certain of a lot of things. And that includes whether or not the Ottomans will join me. Hopefully they end this current war soon, and I'll be able to, well, do my thing. Hopefully. Yeah, that's really something I'm going to have to look into, aren't I? Oh well. Be careful about. Yeah. Let's see how I stack up against France. Because if I lose, then I won't stand a chance against Spain, regardless of what occurs. Unless, of course, I can enlist the Ottomans. Because trying to fight, because the total manpower of that grouping, if I attack Spain, the total manpower available of that grouping is 750,000. I can barely bring to bear 100,000. No matter how much quality you have, there's a certain point at which quantity can just plain overwhelm you. So, I do need to be careful and pay attention if I were to do that. And to be honest, I have to do it at some point. The question is, when is the best time? So, may as well be patient for now. Later on, the situation may change, and I'll be able to take advantage of it. But for right now, that's not the case. So, I just need to wait a while. Wait and see. Wait and see. That siege took a while. Largest city on the continent. Why not? Oh jeez! I did not expect my treasury to fill up by 2,000 ducats. Seeking in the well-developed provinces. That's only 3 war score. Jeez. Yeah, getting France to do anything in a peace deal is going to be difficult. I'm still busy sieging down those rebels in the south, so... Terrible roll on my end, but... believe I might be dealing more damage to them. The numbers move too quickly for me to see them, so... What's more dangerous is that my base morale is worse off, to say the least. I've got better base morale. The fact that the morale values are about equal now is not a good sign. At least my general happens to be pretty competent. If only he'd roll better. I also have discipline buffs, while they don't. Which boosts my own mill tactics. Yep, because we have about the same. We have the same amount from technology. The discipline is higher. Yeah, I've definitely dealt more damage to them. But it still seems I need to be careful. "13 phase progress modifier." How long have you been sitting here? Well, that told me everything I needed to know, pretty much. War reps. Can I get something else? War reps aren't actually going to be that useful, because the opponent's going to be stripped down to a single province in the process. But it's only 22 aggressive expansion. For all this territory, it's amazing. Right, all I have left for that mission now, for the Low Saxon Circle, is just those 2 Spanish provinces. Excellent. For the Upper Saxon Circle, it's still a bunch of Saxon territory. But the nationalism guessability makes conquering so much cheaper. And annexing Ravensberg shouldn't be too hard. I should be able to take the costs, after all. Though for the time being I'm busy with setting some stuff up. France has announced me as a new rival. Well, yet another person that hates me. Woo! Right, time to grab tech. So first, romanticism, merchant banks. So another idea group. Global ship trade power plus 5%, trade range plus 100, settler growth plus 2, and that's the heavy frigate. Right, so as for the idea group, I think I'll go with humanist. Yeah, why not? Tech's cheap, so, well, it's going to be cheap. After all, I've got a minus 35% from all of my ideas, and Lutheran religion. Well, there is a plus 12% from corruption, but it's not that big of a deal. Right, so the finisher bonus is religious unity plus 10%. And I can just read all these out. Oh, and that also unlocks the legal protections. Leaves a boosted tolerance out. Yep. Sort of. It means less tolerance of heretics, but I don't lose missionary strength. I don't need police force though, so I'm gonna drop that instead. It also reduces the use of separatism, so even further, which is excellent. Right. Peaceful means, as with the skinning of cats, so with conquered people. Striking a balance between peaceability and anarchy is difficult, but it certainly pays dividends. National unrest -1. Accommodation. Politics is transactional. As we demand on others taxes and sword arm, we must offer something in exchange, even though that something is a return to normalcy. +2 promoted cultures. Max promoted cultures. Cultural secularism. Who cares upon which side another bread is buttered? If all a man's acquiescence costs is apathy, then our passions are clearly better directed towards something else. Promote culture cost -15%. Strange bedfellows. The closest neighbors make the fiercest enemies. In truth, it is easier to associate with one whom you have little in common with than with someone whose ideas generally threaten the primacy of your own. Tolerance of heathens +1. Ecumenism. Much as groups without opposition will squabble and fracture, those who split will seek to unite again, whether it be through nostalgia, resolving old differences, or a simple evaluation of a greater threat. The result is the same. Tolerance of heretics +1. Benign governance. No government can sustainably be truly benevolent, but it can do its best to be benign. Making things tolerable enough to not warrant rebellion makes the difference between a golden age and the executioner's block. Years of separatism -10. Common humanity. It is but a notion, nothing to remark upon or to defend against. But exists, it always has, and though its time may not be for generations yet, its blossoming will change the world. Female advisor chance +5%. Maximum tolerance of heretics and heathens +1. I have not seen that modifier before, plus to maximum tolerance. Certainly going to be useful for keeping the realm together, though. The greater my tolerance of the religious minority communities within my country, the easier it is for me to maintain a peaceful realm. Plus, I believe that also reduces the problem, the autonomy issues that generates. What is my tolerance now? Maximum tolerance for heretics is 3. Yeah, well, that's partially because of 3 stability. I'm actually tolerating heathens, though barely. So this one has next to no unrest. That's what 5, well, not 5 actually. I reduced my total years of separatism by 15 by using the, well, by a combination of benign governance and legal protections. Next idea group would be in 60 years, but the game ends in 56 and oh wait. in 1856. No, it's in 80 years. So it's tech level 66, and we're currently at 58. 80 years, that would be 1850, so 6 years before game end, assuming I don't give up on the whole have time penalty and just say screw it and just grab it. So we're looking into citizen service now, huh? Interesting. Right, so let's handle all the political stuff first. Where is it? Yep, okay. Was not expecting that. A new election again? Jeez. Are you sure you want to allow Scandinavia through here? Nah. Let's promote the aristocratic faction again. Alright. Oh well. Right. As for what has been going on... Yeah, finished the war, transferred most, well, grabbed the provinces in the Lower Saxon Circle for myself. The rest I just gave to Ravensberg. Not that big of a deal. They've managed to core everything, so I've gone ahead and started integrating them. Soon enough, yeah, it's actually almost done. It's 6 per month, and it's total 200 well, 200 points or so. And there's about 43 left, so it's gonna happen this year. Also, I went ahead and allied these 2 miners. Well, managed to get them to like me enough to be willing to ally me. I'm currently working on transferring favors to trust. Yeah. It actually caused very little aggressive expansion for all this territory. I'm gonna just click over everything. Yeah, all these provinces? Just 22 aggressive expansion. Nationalism is quite the casus belli, isn't it? It's only gonna make expansion over into Jülich a lot easier. Eventually the provinces that revolutionary Spain owns. Oh, and the revolutionary zeal mechanic does actually work. Just took a moment. Yep, we've got a center of revolution here. And this stuff is now starting to spread to Hungary. It appears to do so quickly. It had revolutionary zeal for a short while. But now it's gone again. Well, soon enough wait. Oh, the revolution hasn't spread to every one of their provinces yet. These still haven't gotten in yet, but I'm sure they will soon enough. It's probably because they managed to get it through Spain. Well, not Spain, France, which is having some issues. They've got 90 centralization, so local hundreds is at 22.5 plus. Yeah, you can see why they're having trouble keeping things together. I did end up fighting a battle. They were actually really busy because, well, revolutionary rebels in a highly defendable province with a ridiculously high level of fort, though not as high as they managed to get it because I have sieged this one down. It took forever. My treasury also is massive now because, well, for lack of a better term, I sieged down Paris and decided to take the loot option. End result, my treasury increased by a couple thousand ducats. Yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot. Of course, another side effect of that is that Francis decided to go ahead and rival me. Yay! Yeah, because of how incredibly efficient my taxation system is now, I've decided to go ahead and increase the amount of manpower taxation I'm doing. I could probably afford it easily. I may increase wages too. Yeah, why not? My reduction of corruption is starting to slow down, so increasing, yeah, rewards and incentives. It also increases loyalty, which is nice. But it does burn some points. Oh well, I've got plenty. Oh. I just need to do some anti-corruption measures again. Sure, why not? Overturn the status quo. I've got stability at the wazoo. And I'm serious, I've got way more stability than I actually need. Sure, I've reduced some of my stability gain. Because, well, one thing I did was grab the new humanist ideas. There's the new idea group. Not sure what I'm going to get for the Communist Manifesto, but it's not really particularly important. If I follow the ahead of time, I'll get it in 1860, and the game ends 1856. Not 1865, as I previously mentioned, but 1856. However, the really big reason for that is minus 10 years separatism. More promoted cultures that they can do. And for cheaper too. Reduce national unrest. Plus, legal protections, which is another new administrative policy. Which gives me even more tolerance of heretics and heathens. Further reducing unrest issues. And reduces the separatism even further. Which is nice. And that's about it. Oh yes, there is one more thing. Yeah. I'm not sure what to do next entirely. I mean, I've got a general idea of what to do next, but more specifically, which direction to go. Well, who to go up against. So I pretty much have two choices. Either I can go straight up against Bohemia to grab those three little provinces. They're not particularly developed, so it would be low aggressive expansion. I'm gonna have to do it anyway. Or I could try and grab the rest of Saxony's heartland. Which also isn't particularly developed. In fact, I think it's less development in total. Let's see here. This here is 20. This is 13. 20. Okay. On the other hand, this one is a capital, so it might be a bit difficult. I mean, either way, I'm going to be going up against Bohemia unless Bohemia, Scandinavia, and Saxony. Well, the question is, who else? Jülich is strong, but they're not important. I've beaten them up so many times I can't really count. Subject might be having rival issues, but as soon as I integrate myself, they'll probably disappear a lot because of my own. Yeah. On the other hand, subject nation reduces unrest by 6. Oh well. I went ahead and grabbed Miltech early because I've got so many mill points, I don't know what to do with them. Manpower is increasing dramatically, so that's great. Not quite enough yet for a third army, if I consider doing that. I could instead increase the number of troops under my control in each army. There's only so much I can do there, and the question is how much I'm willing to do there. I do know my military is effective, though. Extremely effective. Even against a military that could be somewhat considered on par with mine. I actually managed to fight a larger army against France and managed to win despite having an absolutely terrible roll for the first phase. Really, it was awful. So, I might be able to fight and win against Padua. Or at least fight them off to a standstill, which is going to be important because they're allied to revolutionary Spain. As is Hungary and Austria and Padua. No, as is Hungary and Austria. Austria isn't dangerous, not particularly. Hungary is, well, middling. Spain's actively dangerous, though mainly through troop count and subjects count, not because of any military efficiency. Honestly, it's similar to the way the Ottoman Empire is, though the Ottomans do have better tech and way more troops. Seriously, they have 170k out in the field, whereas revolutionary Spain on their own has 62k. They do have 6 colonies of varying strengths. A couple of vassal states, one of them is Daviet, so... dangerous? Yes. Expansion Peru has 46k troops. Carolina has 20k. Though their other colonies aren't particularly notable. Plus it's Spain, they've got provinces all over the world, so sieging down enough for them to even consider a peace deal is going to be difficult. Well, there is war score. Ticking war score, if I can manage to hold on up here. Which shouldn't be too hard. They're all going to come... all of my opponents in this war are going to come from the south. They might be discredited by the Ottoman Empire. They're no longer rivaling... they aren't rivaling Spain anymore, but... they still don't like Spain. I have a good reputation thanks to, well, prestige. Sure, they have a ton of debt, but I could theoretically fill their debt in if I wanted to. But they are a great power themselves. I just want to make a massive, massive gift. Seriously, the amount of loot is already enough to pay for the Ottoman Empire's debt. About. Oh well. I certainly have gone on lot for long enough, haven't I? Seventh great power of the world, after all, but, you know. With the latest string of conquests, I may have to manage to pass Hungary soon. Oh yeah, Portugal went revolutionary, which is something I should mention. However, they actually don't like Spain that much because they're embargoing them. I wonder if Spain is going to be under revolutionary, under the R's or under the S's. Pacific Norte, PQR, yeah, revolutionary Spain. To rebel, have claim, embargo, wants their provinces, wants their subjects' provinces. Gore, embargo, warned, yeah. Well, average amounts of leftist infighting, right? Anyway, I've definitely gone on long enough now. I'll see you again next time. Until then.